to the call. All right, so we're going to talk about the heart of coaching. Let's start super basic. Why do we coach? Why do we even coach? Why do we even bother? Basically, it's because our lives have been changed in some way, shape, or form by these programs, by Shakeology. In some way, we're not the same person we were before we started doing these programs and before we started being involved in this community that, for me at least, reminded me to value my health, reminded me to, it's okay to love myself, as strange as that sounds. Like, it's okay to do things that are good for me, even if I don't see any direct relation to how they're good for my family. Now I realize it, but before I was like, how is taking 30 minutes for myself just to work out helpful to my family? Like, I should just do everything for them. And this community has reminded me about that, has reminded me to do self-care. And so whatever your story is, that's just a little snippet of my story, but whatever your story is, somehow your life has been changed by this. And somehow you cannot stop talking about it to your friends and family. They can see a difference. They can see there's a spark in you now. They can see there's a change in you. You're saying no to foods that you normally would have just eaten all the time, or whatever it is. Your life has been changed, and you want to share that with others. It's natural. Anytime we come across anything that's amazing, we want to share it with others. And that's pretty much the basis of why we coach, is because we found something great and we want to share it with others. And then as we begin to go into the business side of coaching, as we begin to learn about what it's done for other coaches financially, then it becomes not only an opportunity to help people with their health and fitness, it becomes an opportunity to change our lives and our families' lives and open up freedoms to be able to live the way that we want to live, instead of the way that we have to live because of financial limitations. We're able to live the way we want to live. And so for me, for example, I have a ridiculous amount of friends who are in ministry, who are in Campus Crusade, who are missionaries full time, who are going to seminary, and who are constantly asking for support. And of course, that's what they do. They devote their lives to others, and we get the privilege to support them. But when you have, like, no joke, like 18 friends who are all in ministry and needing support, on one teacher income, we'd have to say no to them over and over again. And that just killed me. It killed me, because that's what I want to be giving my life to. That's what I want to be giving my money to. But we didn't have the funds. And so to have that all of a sudden vision in my eye of, you know what, if I work really hard at this, I can live the way I want to live instead of the way I have to live. I can give to what I want to give instead of saying no because we don't have the finances. It becomes this freedom, really. That's what it's about. It's not about buying whatever you want to buy, but it's about knowing what your priorities are and being able to just pursue them full force without hesitation, without having to look twice at the bank account and worry about these things. And so once you get that vision of what this opportunity is, then you realize that, yes, I'm coaching to help others. I'm coaching because my life has been changed, but I'm also coaching because I see this opportunity to continue to change my life and to continue to change my family's life. And then we also coach because as we start working hard and building an income for ourselves, again, we want to share it with others, right? Like, so you work hard in your health and you see amazing things happen and you want to share that with others. Then you work hard in your business and you see amazing things happen and you want to share that with others. It's just like the same cycle from the health side and the business side. It's the exact same. You realize I'm not the same person. Now I'm able to support every and anyone who comes and needs support. And it's such a joy to do that. And I want others to experience that same thing. So that's why we coach. Deep down at the root, there's no other reason than to help others, to give to others, and to share this life-changing opportunity with others. But there comes a point when we can drift from that heart and from that base, and we start to doubt ourselves. It's happened to me, and maybe not to you, but it's happened to me all the time. And you start to have these thoughts that, well, I don't know if I can do this. And the reason why is usually for 3 reasons. Because number 1, you're not good right away. Nobody is good at this business right away. Nobody starts this business like a top 10 coach, like amazing, like totally knows how to say everything perfectly, totally knows how to build relationships and be a leader and all these things. Nobody is good right away. And when you're not good right away, when your first month is not amazing, or your second month is not amazing, or you have a rough month, you just immediately doubt yourself. You don't give yourself the benefit of the doubt that, hey, maybe I need to learn and grow into this business. Maybe I need to, before, like my son, I homeschool my son, and, he's very much like me. He's impatient sometimes. And when he's practicing writing his letters, if he doesn't get it right the very first time he writes his letters, he gets so upset and he scribbles on the page and I can't do this. And I have to remind him, this is the very first time you've ever tried to write the letter S. So you're not going to be great at it the first time, but that's okay. By the time we get to the bottom of the page and you've done it, however many times, 15, 20 times, you're going to be better. But even that is not going to be as good as when you're 15 years old and you've been doing it for the last 10 years. You get better the more you do it. And I have to remind him of that. And it seems like, well, of course, nobody expects a 5-year-old to write letters perfectly the first time they try it. But we don't hold ourselves to that same standard of grace. We hold ourselves to like, if I'm not an amazing coach in my first month, then I'm just not meant to do this. I just am not cut out to be a coach. And it's like, no, it's like that little 5-year-old person inside of us, like coming out and sabotaging something that could be great because we're not great right away. The second reason why we doubt ourselves is because we have haters. We have negative people surrounding us. Now, it's hard enough to deal with the negativity in our own minds, but let alone when you have negative people around you. And I've done an entire call on haters. I don't want to, take a look in the call archives and listen to that call if you feel like you're really struggling with some negative people in your life right now. So I'm not going to talk everything about it, but I do want to mention it because it can really, really get you down. It can really sidetrack you from that heart of coaching, because the truth is the only way to not have any criticism or any critique is to do nothing, say nothing, and be nothing. That's the only way you're going to not have somebody giving you their opinion and they don't think you're, maybe doing the right thing. And so really, you have to really dig into that heart of coaching, and you have to say, you know what is the good that I could potentially do in this business, the lives that I could impact, the lives that I could change in my own family, our future. Is that good worth a little bit of some people maybe not thinking that I'm the greatest person in the whole world? And obviously we try to run our business so that we are, winsome, and that we are gracious, and that we are not in your face and not annoying and not pestering. And but if you know that in your heart you're coming from a good place, even still, there are going to be people who misunderstand you, who judge you before getting to know what's really in your heart. And that really, really hurts. But here are some things that I've learned when dealing with haters. First of all, they don't know you. Even if they're very close friends, they don't know what's in your heart. They don't know your current situation. They don't know your dreams for your family. and the drive that you have and the vision that you have. They just don't know. And I had someone who was very close to me. She was one of my youth leaders. I grew up with her. You know, I saw her as almost like my second mom, and she moved away and I started doing Beachbody. And I did this one post basically because I was so overwhelmed with emotion, because we had gone through a season where I literally would get so nervous going grocery shopping every week, because we would overdraft all the time, because my husband had gotten a pay cut and our insurance went up. Like, all these crazy things happened. It was over the summer where his pay is already less, and it was just a super stressful time for me. And just a few months later, my income was going up and I was able to go to the grocery store and just use Beachbody money, and I knew exactly how much I had in my account, and I knew I wasn't going to overdraft. And I just came home and I unloaded the groceries and I just started crying. I was just like so overwhelmed by the just that stress that was off of my shoulders because of Beachbody. And I shared that, and she wrote me saying, listen, I was judging you, and I was judging your journey and what you were doing. And it wasn't until I saw that post and I realized what a difficult, desperate situation that you were in, that you couldn't even afford groceries, and how this is not some get rich quick scheme for you. This is your way of working hard to provide for your family. And I just want to say that I support you in what you're doing and all this stuff. And so until people realize like what you're going through, and you don't have to have a story like that, but every one of us has our own individual why. We have our own individual history and baggage. Maybe you come from a family who, you know, is just lazy and never goes after anything and never tries to become great, or is crippled by fear and anxiety. And you being a coach and you doing this thing is breaking molds. And that's why it's important to you. Whatever it is that you have, that's your why for doing this. People don't know that. And so you have to just, be okay with that. Sorry, Siri wants to get on the call. You have to just be okay with that and know, I know what my why is. I know why I'm doing this. And my haters don't. They just don't. And I don't need to explain that to them. I mean, if you're moved to make a post about it, great. I think that's amazing. But you don't owe them anything. You know why you're doing this, and you have to have that strong conviction, because they just don't have all the information. They're just seeing you at face value and making their judgments. But you have to let it roll off your shoulders. The second thing that you have to realize with haters is that just because they don't agree with what you're doing doesn't mean they don't love you. So a recent friend of mine, she wrote this whole blog post about how she used to be a Beachbody coach and now she's not anymore, and all these things about what, Beachbody coaches and whatever. I thought that she was being somewhat judgmental and unfair in some of her blanket statements. But at first I was like, oh my gosh, does she not like me anymore because I'm a Beachbody coach still, and all this stuff. And then I just realized, you know what? I have a lot of friends that I don't really agree with what they're doing with their lives, but I still love them to death. I honestly love them to death, even if I think that that's ridiculous that they're still working at Chick-fil-A, or that they're still, not that there's anything wrong with working at Chick-fil-A, but that whatever they've chosen to do with their life, I may feel like, oh my gosh, you have so much more potential, or oh my gosh, you should have gone to school, or oh my gosh, you should, whatever, you have such a talent, you should open a business doing this instead. We all have our opinions, right, of our friends and family, whether sometimes we agree with them, sometimes we don't. But I still love them to death. That doesn't change 1 ounce of what I feel about them. And it clicked in my head, even if my friend is like, Beachbody coaching is crap, I don't like it, whatever, I know that she still loves me. I know that just because she thinks maybe I'm silly for doing what I'm doing, she still loves me. And that helped me a lot, because I just realized I don't agree with everything my friends do. They don't have to agree with everything I do. It doesn't mean we can't still be friends. Doesn't mean we can't still love each other. And you never know when they're going to come around. And people who once laughed in my face are now on my team. So just keep living your truth and keep knowing and being secure in what your why is for this business. And that will help you so much when you're dealing with haters. Because when you're confident in who you are, everything they say just bounces off of you. If you're not confident in who you are, every word somebody says is going to be like, oh my gosh, should I be doing that? Oh my gosh, should I be doing that instead? Oh, wait, they just said this. Wait, they think that's better. And you're not rooted in who you are, what you're called to do, and focused on that. So that's just I did a whole call on haters. Definitely go back to that if you're dealing with it. I think I might even go back to that just because it shakes you up, right? When somebody says something, but it doesn't have to. So another thing that might distract us from the heart of coaching are goals. So like I said, I'm a Ruby personality, and I love goals. I love setting goals. I love going after goals. I love making big goals. I love like that thrill of working until the 9th hour to hit goals and breaking everything down. Like, it's just, I love it. But sometimes we can get so focused on our goals and hitting them or not, and especially when we don't hit them. And even when we do, we've just drifted from what's really at the heart of coaching, and we've made it all about the goals. Now, don't hear what I'm not saying. You should have goals. You should have goals for your business, goals for your fitness. It gives you something to work towards. It gives you a focal point to focus on and to take action towards, right? If you don't have goals, you're just going to stay stagnant. You're never going to move forward. However, goals cannot replace the heart of what we're doing. So whether you hit your goals or not, at the end of every month, I always come back to the heart of what I'm doing. Did I take this month, because in Beachbody, we break our goals down by the month, right? Did I take this month and did I inspire other people? Did I care for my own health? And did I work hard? If I did those 3 things, that's the heart of coaching, right? Care for yourself, make sure that you are living a healthy life, being a product of the product, being a strong, vibrant person, inspiring others, whether they buy something or not. Did I shine inspiration to other people? Was I a positive light to them? And working hard, Did I pursue my goals with all my energy, with all the time that I had, with every month it looks different? Because, just life, especially if you have kids, every month is different. But in that month, did I do the best job that I could do? That's the heart of coaching. Holding ourselves to a higher standard, caring for ourselves, and inspiring others along the way. So if I did those 3 things, which is the heart of coaching, then the actual goal itself is secondary. I want to have it, but I don't want it to replace my heart and the real deep why of why I'm coaching. Because you know what happens when you don't hit your goals? You want to give up. And you forget all the good that coaching is to others and to you, because you've gotten fixated on this little goal. Now, you do want to learn from your goals. If you miss your goals, or you miss Success Club, or you miss whatever, you should know why, so that you can adjust next month and hopefully hit it. But don't let that be your determining factor of whether you should be a coach or not, whether you should, whatever. Because we have to focus on the controllable. Control the controllable. You cannot control whether someone buys a program or not, but you can control your actions. You can control whether or not you posted 3 to 5 times a day. You invited 3 people a day. You added people to your network. You did your personal development. You did your workout. Those things are totally within your control. So focus on controlling the controllable, and let whether or not you hit your goals as far as Success Club or recruiting, let that be secondary to the heart of what coaching is. Because I promise you, if you pour your energy into what you can control, you will hit your goals. You will hit your goals eventually. As you become a better coach, you will hit your goals. What I have found in my life is when I shift my energy to what I cannot control, and I start fretting over this person and that person, and why aren't they buying, and why aren't they answering me back, and I shift all of my energy to things that I cannot control, then I don't have any energy to put towards my actual work, and my business just takes a nosedive, and I'm like freaking out. Whereas if I just say, you know what, stop, I'm going to focus all my energy on what I can control, inevitably things start going up. My business starts doing fine, and everything is right again because my energy is in the right place. So you definitely have to not allow goals or the lack of hitting them keep you from remembering what your why is and staying consistent and staying the course. Because honestly, guys, we are not defined by our results. You are not defined by your rank. You are not defined by your volume. You are not defined by your income. You're not defined by how many coaches you have under you or how many Success Club points you have. You know what you're defined by? Your actions. What you do is what defines you. And so every morning I try to wake up and I try to say, what kind of woman do I want to be today? Do I want to be the woman who is faithful and disciplined and hardworking and positive and loves others? Or do I want to be the woman who is lazy and selfish and negative and just lets everybody else dictate how I'm going to feel today? It's a struggle for me, guys. It's a real struggle. I wake up some days and I'm just like, I just want to stay in bed all day. I want to deal with my kids. I don't want to talk to challengers. I don't want to do anything. Like, it's a struggle. Let's just be real. But every day, my actions are what defines me. I don't want to be defined like that. So that's where we really have to realize it's not my Success Club points. It's my actions. It's what I do every day that defines me as a coach. And that really, more than anything, is the heart of coaching. Whether it's your fitness or not, your actions are what's going to make the difference, right? Nobody loses 10 pounds just by buying the 21-day fix. You have to take action. And it's the same with our business. Nobody earns income just by signing up as a coach. You have to take actions. And when you do, that's when the results come. So that is pretty much all that I have for you guys for tonight as far as what the heart of coaching is all about. And I just wanted to end with a story of when I was at one of my lowest points of coaching and I really, really wanted to give up. And I really, really just having a hard month. And my income was not great. And I was like, I'm doing all this work and I'm barely making any money. And I don't even feel like I'm very good at it because all this stuff that was happening, people were leaving my groups, people were going to other programs, people were, just all sorts of discouraging things, right? And at the end of the day, I was talking with my success partners and I just had this moment, this light bulb moment. I was just like, you know what? Coaching, even if I never made a dime from coaching is good for me. It's good for me because it keeps me accountable in my fitness. And I want to be a healthy mom and wife and woman because my kids deserve it and my husband deserves it. And I'm in a better mood. My poor husband, when I don't work out, I'm stronger, I'm happier, everything. Hopefully I will live longer. It's good for me. It's good for my fitness. It's good for me. It's a creative outlet outside of my kids. It's good for me because it gives me a community of women who are going after something, who are dreaming big. And I don't know about you, but I've been in so many moms groups where it's just the same I feel like we're having the same conversation every single day, every single time, either complaining because we're not sleeping enough, complaining because our husbands aren't doing enough, complaining because we don't have enough money. Like every single conversation is complaining because there's not enough of something. And after a while, it just that's not how I want to spend all of my days, is in a constant state of complaining and feeling like I'm a victim. And so to be in this group, in this community where, you know what, maybe we don't have enough money, but I'm going to work hard and I think I can change that. Or, you know what, maybe I didn't get enough sleep, but I'm going to work out and it's going to give me a boost of energy and I'm going to have a great mood and I'm going to take control of my day. Like, I'm not a victim. And to be in that community and to have that positivity surrounding me, it was good for me, you know? And you know, it was good for me also being coached because I was earning income. Maybe it didn't seem like a ton, but even an extra $250 a month, even an extra $500 a month, that was significant. And maybe, you know, because I have big goals and big dreams, I was like, oh, why am I not making like full-time income yet? But it was contributing to our finances and to our family, and I was grateful for that. And there comes a point, guys, where you're going to hit those moments and you're going to feel like, why am I doing this? I'm wasting my time. I'm spinning my wheels. But if you can dig deep and say, you know what? No, this is good for me. I cannot give up on this. I cannot get so focused on hitting diamond or hitting a certain income or hitting a certain rank or hitting a certain success clip point that I'm going to let all the other positives of coaching go because of this one, you know, rough patch, because of this one rough month, because of this one difficulty. Always be learning, always be growing, and always be grateful for this opportunity that we have and realize that you are changing lives, that you are passing on tools that are like, literally, I've had women in my groups who, if they didn't do something, their life would be ending soon. And I don't mean to be dramatic, but that's the truth. That is the truth. Like, they're talking with their doctors. Things are not looking good. They're on tons of medication and everything was turned around because they had support and tools to get healthy. And I mean, that's the heart of what we do. You have to remind yourself of those things because there's going to be rough months and there's going to be haters and there's going to be, you know, that time of the month when just everything seems bad and you're just like, forget it. But if you can dig into the heart of coaching, it's going to keep you on that path. And guys, who knows where you're going to be next year this time? Who knows where your family is going to be? Who knows how many lives are going to be impacted from your decision to stay the course and to dig deep into that why and to not let all these other things push you off of this road and of this track. So that is all for today. That is my call for today. I hope that was encouraging to you guys. I know that, I mean, come on, I can't be the only one, right, who struggles with discouragement sometimes. So if anything, this was for me, but thank you for indulging me and for being on the call with me. So I don't know if any of you guys were on the call with Josie. That was the BTFP call on Thursday, but she did an amazing job. I'm actually going to